Ready to elevate your credit understanding and score? With insider tips and a plan, you can take action to improving your score, which can save thousands in unnecessary finance charges. Let's tackle today's topic with your coach, Credit Christy.
Hey friends, it's Christy, your credit coach. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode. Today, let's talk about freezing your credit. Why would you freeze your credit? How do you freeze your credit? And then how do you thaw that baby out when you need it? So let's dive in. What does it mean to freeze your credit? That means you are putting a temporary hold on the ability to access your credit or pull your credit report, which could help prevent identity theft and fraud. It's free, it's easy to do, and it won't harm your credit. So the three big credit reporting bureaus, and these are the three that mortgage lenders go through when you are applying for a loan. That's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. They each have this feature. They each have it for free, and you have to go to each one in order to freeze your credit. So placing a freeze on your credit will protect your credit from being accessed to start new credit. So if somebody got a hold of your information and wanted to steal your identity or use your information to start credit for their own gain, freezing your credit will keep that from happening. A credit freeze lasts as long as you want it to. You could remove the freeze temporarily ahead of like a big purchase. If you were applying for a home loan and you needed to get your credit pulled, you can have a temporary lift on that credit freeze. Or if you're buying a car or you need to apply for a credit card, and then you can just go back to your credit being frozen. A freeze does not affect your credit score, but it doesn't keep your open and active accounts from being touched. So in other words, if somebody stole your wallet and started using your credit cards or got a hold of your credit card information, maybe from like those skimmer machines or something like that, something that's open and active already won't fall under this protection of a credit freeze. It's only from being able to have somebody access your information for new credit. Unfortunately, there are a ton of scammers out there. I have a credit freeze on my own credit, and this will keep any new accounts from being able to be open. Now, if I were going to go and shop for a loan for a car or a home, I'd have to remove that freeze. Again, you can do it temporarily or you can lift it completely, but nobody can access your credit report with it being frozen. So here's how you freeze all three credit bureaus. You need to reach out to each one individually. You can call them, or you can go online. In the show notes, I will have a phone number and a link for each of the three credit reporting bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, so that you can take care of that for yourself. I prefer going online. It's just super easy. It took no time at all, and I'm protected. Now, this is presuming you already have an account set up with TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and if not, set up a quick account and then freeze your credit. Now, how do you unfreeze your credit? How do we thaw this baby out? You would have to go back to each of those credit bureau websites, log into your account, and you can click the Unfreeze Your Credit button. I have noticed when I pull credit for clients who want to apply for a mortgage and they allow me access to pull credit, that Experian tends to take a couple of hours for it to show up as unfrozen, where TransUnion and Equifax tend to be immediate. Now, if you're not in the market to get a new loan, I think it's just wise to keep your credit frozen. It's an additional level of protection, so that way if somebody did get a hold of your information, which you likely won't know unless they apply for credit, it just keeps you protected. It can give a little bit of false security because if somebody accesses your current open and active account, they can have access to your credit. That would be something then you would have to dispute with your credit card company, show them how it wasn't your charges, and create a fraud account. Now, somebody got access to one of my open and active accounts a few months ago, and I created a dispute with that creditor. And it occurred to me that even though my credit was frozen, people can access, unfortunately, open and active accounts. So what I did was I went to TransUnion and I created a fraud alert. The cool thing about a fraud alert is when you do it on one, they do notify the others. So you don't have to go and do it on all three like you do a credit freeze. But if you feel like you've been a victim of fraud, somebody has stolen your information or wrongfully used your information, then go ahead and put a fraud listing on your account. And what will happen is if somebody is applying for credit and they're using your information, that creditor has the responsibility of reaching out to you with the information on file and verifying that you are, in fact, applying for that loan or line of credit. So how do they do this? They're going to ask some information that only you would know to verify your information. I know in the past we've had training where I could ask what your prior car payment was before you paid it off, or who that trade line may have been through, like Toyota Finance or Capital One Auto Finance, something like that. And we would ask a series of questions based on typically your past credit information that I could visually see on your credit report, but some scammer wouldn't have access to. Something that only you would know, so we can verify it is in fact you applying for that credit. If that information is not answered properly, the application for financing is shut down right then. Again, a credit freeze is a free service. It's mandated by federal law, so if you want it, you got it. And keep in mind that if your credit is frozen, you can still access your free credit report if you wanted to look at that yourself each year. Your current creditors still have access to your accounts and to see what's going on your credit profile, and so do debt collectors, just like as if it weren't frozen. And if you haven't gone already to optoutprescreen.com, this is where you can enter in your information, opt out from any kind of offers for the next 5 years, and then this will keep those pre-approved credit card offers and a lot of your junk mail from coming your way. Also, if you are intending on applying for a mortgage, I would definitely encourage you to go to optoutprescreen.com, enter in your information, block out your information for the next 5 years, or otherwise you could be what's called a trigger lead, which is when you apply for a mortgage, it's really the only time that all 3 credit reporting bureaus are pulled or accessed at the same time. So that alerts the credit reporting bureaus, aha, this person is shopping for a mortgage. And unfortunately, they've just sold your information to a whole bunch of really hungry salespeople who want to try to entice you to work with them instead of who you're working with. Unfortunately, your phone will blow up for days and days, text messages, phone calls, voicemails, and it feels like a relentless pursuit from a bunch of telemarketers to try to win your business. It's terrible. It's disgusting. It feels lousy. So if you are planning on applying for a mortgage, I would encourage you to start there so you don't become a trigger lead. So your homework now is to set up an account with TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. If you don't already have one, go ahead and set it up and then freeze your credit. Next, go to optoutprescreen.com and enter your information in there and hit that you want to opt out for the next 5 years from being on that pre-approved marketing platform so you can stop some of that junk mail and those silly little offers that come your way. Hey, if you have any questions, reach out to me at questions@creditchristie.com. And if we haven't connected on social, you can find me at Credit Christie on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So let's connect. And until next time, my friends, stay well.